So if you are here in this room by accident, welcome, and once again I thank you profusely for being here, for deciding to keep 1 hour of yours for our conversation here. Kyunki today's conversation just might give you an idea of how to progress with your company, with your ambitions, with your dreams, and with this thing called stress. So for those of you who came in late, we were having a lot of questions about what is stress. And the first thing that I want to clarify and give you for sure that you know very, very clear is that there are two types of stress. There is a eustress, which is a voluntary stress, and there is a distress, which is an involuntary stress. You can write this down because इससे हमारी बड़ी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स सडनली क्लियर हो कि भाई am I doing this by my choice? अब डेट पे जा रहे हैं, वेरी स्ट्रेसफुल, पता नहीं किससे मिलने जा रहे हैं, पहला क्लाइंट से मिलने जा रहे हैं, पता नहीं कैसा होगा, बट वी आर गोइंग बिकॉज वी वॉलंटरली वांट, राइट? दैट्स व्हाट्स इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर आप वॉक पे भी जा रहे हैं तो स्ट्रेसफुल है. इनफैक्ट दैट वाज अ ट्रिक क्वेश्चन. एवरी आंसर वाज यस. जिसने नो लिखा है, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग इज यस. नाउ यू से व्हाई इज एवरीथिंग यस? सिंपल. व्हाट इज स्ट्रेस? क्लासिकल डेफिनेशन ऑफ स्ट्रेस इज दिस इज यू. ठीक है, अज्यूम दिस इज यू. आप पेन नहीं हो, ठीक है, मगर सपोज कर दो और आपके ऊपर कुछ डिमांड्स आ गई, ठीक है. इन डिमांड्स की वजह से क्या हो रहा है? शैडो पड़ रही है आपके ऊपर. When the demands are greater than the resources, then what happens? You get stressed. अब ये हमारा बाबा आदम के टाइम से हुआ है. When 20,000 years back, before we learned to settle down in cave, houses in villages, we were getting stressed by these kind of fellows coming. Suddenly आ जाता था, उसकी शैडो पड़ जाती थी और हम अपनी केव में डर बैठ जाते थे. हमारे रिफ्लेक्सेस जो थे, we were trained to either fight or run, you know, fight or flight वाली बात. तो हमारे जो हार्मोन्स हैं, हमारे जो सारा इंटरनल वर्किंग है, वो ऐसा ही है कि जिस मोमेंट स्ट्रेस आ गया, कुछ भी डिमांड आ गई, चाहे वॉक की डिमांड हो, डिमांड तो है, राइट? क्रॉसवर्ड पजल सॉल्व करना, पजल तो सॉल्व करना है. समथिंग इज हैपनिंग मोर देन योर करंट रिसोर्सेस. देयर विल बी अ डिफरेंस इनसाइड यू. नाउ आइदर दैट डिफरेंस कैन बी गुड फॉर यू, or the difference can be bad. When is it good for you? When it is voluntary. Because then what are you doing? You're building your stress muscles. You know, you're doing your jogging. You're doing your mental aerobics. You're doing your financial planning. Right? If you do your financial planning well, then minutely calculating the cash flow impact on everything, then what is happening? You are not going to be as stressed or as indebted as you would be assuming business as usual. ये नहीं कि suddenly pandemic आ गया and the situation changes, you know, but you have provided because you have been taking on something that can be involuntary. Suddenly your client does not pay you for 90 days, you know, 60 days का contract है, but you have planned for those 30 extra days. You have actually planned for 60 extra days, so you will not be that stressed. Because आपने अपने expansion plans ऐसे neck to neck नहीं बनाए हैं, आपने बनाए हैं keeping that buffer in mind. तो क्या हो गया है? Suddenly, what could have been a situation that was, which could have been distress, becomes eustress, right? Because you have accepted कि ऐसा होगा and acted, right? So what did we do in these 10,000 years back? We set up our communities. अब MSMEx क्या है? एक community है. जैसे आपने देखा वीडियो में अभी, those who came in early, we are there to support each other. तो जब हम एक कम्युनिटी बना लेते हैं, हम अकेले नहीं होते, तो हमारी फेंस हो जाती है, उस फेंस के इर्द गिर्द वो हाथी आता है, शेर आता है, राइट? सो व्हेन द हाथी शेर आर नॉट कमिंग ऑन अस, द शैडो इज नॉट फॉलिंग ऑन अस. That is the power of this community. So by plugging into the community, you can talk with them, you can get in touch with mentors like so many experts that we have, and plan better, work better, get more productive, get more efficient, get more results. But कहने के लिए अच्छा है, एक्चुअली क्या होता है, एक्चुअली तमाम प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं हमको, यू नो. हाथी तो गए, अब हो गया ओवरवर्क. अब भाई ग्रो करना है तो goes without saying कि भाई I have to work my head off. How many of you work a lot? You know, जिनको लेवल करते हैं वर्कaholic का लेवल मिल जाता है. Just type W if you ever been called a workaholic. Ali, come on guys, I want more participation here. Yeah, let me get to know you guys. Let me get to know कि आप में से मेरे जैसे कितने हैं. I used to be an absolute workaholic. Okay. फिर कंप्लेंट्स आती रहती हैं, नॉट नेसेसरीली क्लाइंट की, अपने ही एम्प्लॉइज की, यार हमारे टीम वालों की. उसको यार 10 दिन लेट हो गई सैलरी. अब यार यहाँ पे मेरे को 90 डेज लेट हो गया है कैश रिसीट, और तुम अपने 10 दिन के लिए. बट as an entrepreneur we have to be at the receiving end all the time, right? So this whole laundry list of things, personal attacks. आप में से कितने लोगों को पर्सनल अटैक्स होते हैं, मतलब जो आप डायरेक्टली अटैक भी नहीं कर रहा है कोई आपको, मगर आप दिल पे ले लेते हो. यू नो, इट्स लाइक इंडस्ट्री पे अटैक हो रहा है कि भाई लेट्स से आपकी, जैसे मेरी थी, आई वाज इन दी कम्युनिकेशंस इंडस्ट्री, राइट? सो जो अटैक आ गया वो हमारा डिजिटल अटैक आ गया. जिन दिनों मैं कंपनी चलाता था, इंटरनेट वाज नॉट सो बिग. So suddenly when people started doing their graphic design and all using ready-made GIFs, तो हमारे designer को ही, you know, they were out of business. That if I took it personally, यार I am such a great designer, और ये क्या बकवास Photoshop clip art डाल रहा है यहाँ पे, कह रहा है उसका बन गया communication, तो मैं तो बड़ा stressed रहता. मैं तो, you know, I would be worried कि now I don't have anything to do. लाइक जॉब ही नहीं, मगर अभी तक कम्युनिकेशंस कंपनी चल रही है ना. सो थैंक्स साली, लव दैट. ओके, सो इफ यू स्टॉप टेकिंग थिंग्स पर्सनली एंड जस्ट सी हाउ इट्स हैपनिंग टू सो मेनी, एंड देयरफॉर देयर इज डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू बी अ सॉल्यूशन, एंड प्लग इनटू दैट कम्युनिटी अगेन, यू नो. देन by being part of those forums, by being part of those industry associations, you will find solutions instead of taking it personally. The negative company, वही associations में negative company निकल आएगी, या फिर clients में निकल आएगी, या फिर suppliers में निकल आएगी, करेंगे. So knowing that is something that is involuntary, right? पहला lesson हमने क्या सीखा? Stress can be voluntary or involuntary. This is very very important. This is the foundation. अगर आप सिर्फ इतना समझ लो आज, half your problems will be sorted, because आप कभी भी बैठ के ना एक 5 मिनट just be by yourself and think of the situation. Let us say it's overworking. Is it voluntary or involuntary? Am I enjoying what I'm doing, or am I thinking that I should be with my spouse but I'm here? If you're thinking I should be with my spouse but I'm here, it is involuntary. If you're enjoying what you're doing, the same overwork is, you can change it. Are you getting me? Yeah. So sometimes we're hostages of the past. Past we used to do so well. अब मैं बोल सकता था, you know, we used to do spray work and stuff like that. आजकल कौन spray देखा है? Nobody. But those artworks are so good. अब 1950s के फिल्म ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट में उनका एक टच ही अलग होता था. You know, हमारे दादाजी जब कंपनी चलाते थे तो ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला. आप में से कई लोग लेगेसी बिजनेसेस में होंगे, राइट, जो आपके दादाजी ने शुरू करी. बट यू गॉट टू अंडरस्टैंड that is not determining your future. there is only one thing determining your future. Can you guess? What is the one thing that determines your future? Only one. Any guesses? Anyone unmuting and talking? Can you unmute? I don't know if you can unmute. I'm sorry if I'm asking for that, but you can certainly put in the chat box. I will tell you. The one thing that affects everything that happens in your future is what you do now. What you do now. It's 4 words. What you do now. That's all. What you do now, how you react, fine. How you react, but anything that you do will affect all your future. Let us say, for example, you say कि यार संदीप नाथ पता नहीं क्या क्या बात कर रहा है, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, I am going. That is what you do now. What will happen is that the next 40 minutes of this talk could have had something that would have helped in examining exactly how you can run your company better. But you missed it. Hey, that's my endeavor. I told you right at the beginning. You have given me an hour. It is my responsibility to make use of it so that you go back with stuff that you can start applying today evening. This is stuff you can start applying. अगर आपको 7 productivity hacks चाहिए अभी, ये 7 है. You can take them and be very satisfied that you've got something out of today. क्यों? You can just do the reverse. If you're overworking, check. If it is voluntary, then also do you have to, or can there be other things that you can do instead of just working like a dog? You know, what is the purpose with which you are working? Is it just to complete stuff, or is it to plan for the future? Because what you do now is going to build your future. Anything you change now will change your future. Right? How are you going to handle complaints? How are you going to develop an attitude that 1 does not complain and 2 diffuses a complaint? Never fight a complaint. What? Never fight a complaint. Because the complainer is correct. It is his point of view or her point of view. All you can do is understand it and diffuse it. अब अगर मेरे को इसको छोटा करना है, अकबर बीरबल वाला, कैसे करूंगा? एक बड़ा लगा दूंगा इसके साइड में, अब ये छोटा हो गया. That is how you diffuse a complaint. Not by fighting, not by saying your complaint is very small, mine is so much bigger, I have bigger problems than you. तो ईगो इशू हो गया. ईगो से आदमी कभी स्ट्रेस फ्री नहीं होता. ईगो को डाउन करके होता है कि यार you got a problem with the size of this pen. I understand. But imagine if you had a problem with the size of your keyboard, wouldn't that be a greater problem? I use the keyboard more than I use the pen. Okay. Be happy you have a good keyboard, यार. Pen को छोड़ो, आगे बात करते हैं. What you do now will change your future. Will change your relationships. Will change the way that person, your employer, whoever relates with you. And they also know कि यार मैं अपना complaint करूँगा, तो फिर maybe I can myself self-correct and think of something which is a bigger issue which is good. You know, keyboard तो ठीक है, that's a bigger issue and that's good. So you by demonstrating things like this, how you diffuse a complaint and not fight it, you create by way of your leadership a stress-free environment where other people learn to do the same thing. Let's take being a poor planner. If you start planning meticulously, your team will start planning meticulously. If you are meticulous about the debt structuring of your company, your accountant will get very, very particular about the modalities and times of repayment of the debts. And that will stop you from getting stressed because suddenly, अरे वो अकाउंटेंट भूल गया था, अरे उसने वो फॉर्म्स रिटर्न्स फाइल नहीं करे थे, अरे ये हो गया, वो हो गया. All sorts of silly things happen which come to the leadership's notice when it's too late. पहले तो लोग दबा के रखते हैं, right? ताकि उनको गाली ना मिले. Many people often resign when they know कि बहुत कुछ दबा हुआ है, go away. Then the other person comes and there's so much muck out there. Oh my God, ये क्या कर रहा था आदमी, right? But when you are doing your micro planning, then you are part of your micro plan is to check everybody else's plan. You are not micromanaging them. Your plan is integrating. Okay, you have to check their plans, and then there are no surprises, and then the buffers are built, and then we know that we're not in for surprises, which will be involuntary. Surprises involuntary. You know, even if somebody comes and closes your eyes, you get stressed. Something happens. The demand is more. Suddenly, who's come, right? And then the person turns out to be your spouse and or your daughter or your son or somebody like that, you know, and it's diffused. And you also go right? Because your adrenaline had come up, the hormones had come up. It could have been an elephant closing your eyes, right? How do you know? But you did not work on that stress response because the diffusion came immediately. But this clutter. Clutter means look at your table, your physical table and your desktop in your computer. Kitne icons hain? If you have more than 15, like if you have more than 15 objects on your table, सब कुछ मिला के, like ये मेरे 2 हो गए, right? So लैपटॉप तीसरा हो गया, सेल फोन है चौथा हो गया, कप है पांचवा हो गया, like that. अगर 15 से ज्यादा हैं, you are having so many things demanding your attention. Subconsciously, they may not consciously. You don't use. You know, there are some books lying over there which I haven't picked up for a week. I tell you, they should not be there. If I'm not using it every day, it need not be there. Because if it's there, it is somewhere. It is saying, "Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up." I'm not picking it. So, are you getting me? These are points. Okay, definitely more than 15. Thank you. I am not looking at the chat box and I'm speaking all the time, but please tell me how it's going so far. Are you enjoying this? Have you got anything out of it? And I'm telling you, it may be that you are thinking, yeah, this is all fine. I can see it. You know, just like you can see the circles over here. But I'll tell you, something happens that very often we think we are seeing it right, but we're not always seeing it right, because our mind is fooled very easily. What are you seeing? Are you being guided by certain arrows? And are those circles changing their shape? Yeah? Are they changing their position? Are they going in different directions? Is it happening for you? The circles are exactly the same, exactly in the same place, exactly the same size. Nothing is changing in all 4 circles. But because of our perception, we are suddenly baffled. What's going on here? And this is what I want to talk to you about. Because whatever happens outside of us is one thing. What is critically important, friends, is what's happening inside of us. And to understand what's happening inside, I've developed something called the stress matrix. Yeah. So the stress matrix is a matrix which, like the movie Matrix, which goes inside you. And you are in a position to discover where you might be having the genesis of stress. You personally and also your team. We can do a stress diagnostic and evaluation throughout your organization if you like. Now, how many of you would like to understand the stress matrix? Because if I get enough yeses, I will go through how you can diagnose sitting where you are. whether you are stressed or not. Okay, I'm getting yeses. That's good to know. You see, this talk has to be meaningful. And to me, it's very meaningful because I developed this damn thing because I suffered it. I think it's very useful for many people who have used it so far for themselves and for their companies. And this is where, when I consult with you or when I interact with you in future workshops and all, you will see a distinct difference, that I look at all these aspects about stress, about profitability, about productivity, about performance. I look at them from the point of view of body, mind, and spirit. Ancient Oriental wisdom, which I got from the Vedas, from the Tibetan Lamas, from Chinese and Japanese masters, which I had the good fortune of learning from over the last 15 years. You don't have to go to China, Japan, anywhere. Get it one place, because you understand that we, you, I, all humans, are basically body, mind, and spirit. So, what is the body? The body and the physicality of our relationships, of our interactions, that is what I call BP. Okay, it's a point somewhere in our space, right? But when we are challenged by this BP point, what happens? We feel the stress in let me just, before going forward, let me prepare you. There are 6 dimensions in which we live our life. Okay, so there is the body, the physical dimension, and then there's a social dimension, which is our relationships with people, right? So where it comes to our physicality and our physical relationships with people, those 2 dimensions, when things go wrong, then we are struck with so many things. Okay, so I'll get myself out of the picture for a while so that you can see this, read it. And in the paper that you got next to you, I hope you got your pen and paper with you. Write down if you experience any of these things. You need not write in the chat box. I don't need to know. You need to know. Because the manifestation of stress is very subtle. It can be very small, as in tiredness, as in not being able to sleep, as in constipation or diarrhea. उठते हैं सुबह, दर्द होता है, गले में दर्द होता है, या इन्फ्लेमेशन हो रहा है, कभी कभी माउथ ड्राई हो जाता है, जनरल एंजाइटी हो जाती है, बात बात पे कॉफ कोल्ड हो जाता है, सडनली शिवरिंग हो जाती है, नर्वसनेस हो जाती है, तरह तरह की चीजें, stuff like that. And if these kind of things are happening, even one of them you've written down कि मेरे साथ हो रही है, don't be mistaken. This is not something to take a medicine for. कि भाई पेट में दर्द हुआ और हमने एंटासिड खा लिया. खा लो तब के लिए, मगर एंटासिड या जो भी खा रहे हो, उससे you are getting more chemicals to work which will have more side effects. What you need to be doing is understanding इसका label है stress. This is an early sign of stress. अगर आपकी टीम में कोई है जो every once a week बीमार पड़ जाता है, he is or she is stressed. वीक तो बहुत हो गया, once a month बीमार पड़ जाता है, it's a symptom of stress, क्योंकि नहीं पड़ना चाहिए in normal conditions. Similarly, we have the mental and financial, these dimensions, the MNF, right? And when you are in the mental and financial dimensions, what are your indicators? Stuff like this. Again, take a look. I'll get myself out. बात बात पे worry हो जाना, insecurity होना about money. It could be small insecurities, it could be large insecurities. 3 crore का debt भरना है and stuff like that. Whatever it is. बात बात पे irritation, petty matters पे गुस्सा आ जाना, कभी गुस्सा कभी खुश, mood swings. ये आप कभी खुद नहीं ऑब्जर्व करते, लोग कहते हैं ये तो बड़ा मूडी सा हो गया है, right? You got to understand, they are not talking about a habit जो आपने suddenly cultivate कर लिए. They are telling you you are stressed. उनको भी नहीं पता कि that's the word to use. मुझे भी नहीं पता था it was stress when I was having this racing thoughts. भूल जाते हैं यार चीजें. अरे यार बुढ़े हो रहे हैं, come on, I'm 35. That's what I used to say 15 years ago, कि यार I'm on the wrong side of the 30s. I'm prone to forgetting things, being a little out of focus. ठीक है, मतलब सबका होता है कि मैं सब stressed है सर. That is why सबका होता है, किसी ने नहीं बताया मुझे. वो सब लोग स्ट्रेस्ड है तो आप भी स्ट्रेस्ड है। तो जैसे बत्ती जाती है ना, नेबर्स का देखोगे उनकी भी गई है तो हमारा ठीक है जाना। बत्ती पावर स्टेशन से आती है तो पावर स्टेशन से अगर उनके नहीं आ रही, हमारे नहीं आ रही, ठीक है, हमारा फ्यूज बॉक्स चेक करने की जरूरत नहीं है। मगर यहाँ पे तो आप कनेक्टेड नहीं हो ना, यू आर यू। And if you are experiencing any kind of mental symptoms like this, mind and finance, you need to label it correctly, and then we will see what to do about it. Coming to that, I know you're waiting for that one, but you got to know what to label first, no? What to look for, not only in yourself, in your teams. Now your teams work with each other, and that is where S and E, the 6 dimensions of living, the 6 dimensions are mental finance. Anyhow, I'll repeat them later. These S and E are the spiritual and emotional. So the spiritual and emotional dimensions are very subtle. पता ही नहीं चलता यहाँ पे हो क्या रहा है। टेक अ लुक क्या हो रहा है। लोनलीनेस हो जाती है जी, जजमेंट खराब हो जाता है, डिप्रेसिव हो जाते हैं, लो सेक्स ड्राइव। सडनली पता चलता है यार 3 महीने 4 महीने बीत गए, haven't given a hug to the spouse। होता है, इतने मशरूफ हो जाते हैं ना अपने कामों से। ये मशरूफियत नहीं है, दिस इज नॉट एन एटीट्यूड, दिस इज नॉट अ बिहेवियर, दिस इज नॉट एन ओवरवर्क, दिस इज स्ट्रेस। इफ यू लेबल इट करेक्टली यू विल हैव द राइट सॉल्यूशन। इफ यू आर प्रोक्रेस्टिनेटिंग, ना कल कर लेंगे, कल कर लेंगे, कल कर लेंगे, भाई आप 3 हफ्ते से बोल रहे हो कल कर लेंगे, हाँ कल कर लेंगे ना। स्ट्रेस हो रहा है, किस बारे में हो रहा है ये हमको अभी तक नहीं पता, मगर अगर आपने इसको करेक्ट लेवल लगाया है तो हम कुछ कर सकते हैं इसके बारे में। मेरा एक दोस्त था, हर एक बात पे यूज्ड टू बी फिजिटिंग, यू नो, अपने पेन से ही खेलता रहता था। तो मुझे ये पता नहीं था, मगर वो बस कुछ करता रहता था, बात कर रहे हैं, डूडलिंग करता रहता था। You know what happened to him? He had a brain stroke. I didn't know that. But now in hindsight, I realized that there were things that were playing on his mind, and he was so cool all the time, nothing could touch him. He always had a solution for everything, unflappable. You know, जैसे डक होती है ना, पानी नहीं लगता उस पे, वैसा। That is how serious these matters get. So you've got to know your stress. In which dimension of life is it? And I invite you to take a self-diagnostic. If you go over to this link, 10ways.gr8.com, you will have a form which you can fill out if in the comments if you want a diagnostic, and otherwise it will land you on the diagnostic page. Okay, so you just have to fill the form, but you can write in your comments if you want to have a one-on-one with me or anything like that, or through MSMEx if you would like to be part of any workshop or a coaching program or anything like that. We'll just put a note in the comments so that I can talk to MSMEx and we can organize it for you. But what this will do is it will give you access to the diagnostic, because once you have started your diagnosis, you know in these 6 dimensions where you are, and you get more details about the metrics, then you will know what to do about body stress. For example, what happens with body stress is it starts with stuff like sickness, which you can see in your employees also as absenteeism. You know yourself you are sick, but you don't know other people are sick, मगर वो आ नहीं रहा है, ये वो आधे दिन काम कर रहा है, right? And stuff like that. How many times have you heard, even, you know, senior people like co-founders, वो treadmill पे भाग रहा था. It happened with one of my friends, yeah, about 4-5 months back. He was on the treadmill and he collapsed. Sudden heart attack. 39 years old. Because nobody diagnosed it as stress. Everybody thought he was in great shape. He was going to the gym, he was running on a treadmill. But अंदर से खोखला हो गया था. And खोखला कितने हो आप, that you will know through the diagnostic. Which is why I've got this diagnostic specially for you on this link, so that you can take it and know where you stand on these dimensions. What happens in the mental dimension with the mind? It starts with insecurity, like we were talking about, you know, forgetfulness and lack of focus. You feel insecure. उससे क्या होता है? Your people, they get disengaged. क्यों काम करें, क्या करें, कर लिया ना, काफी कर लिया ना, आज के लिए हो गया, राइट? या उससे क्यों बात करें यार, ठीक है 3 दिन बाद तुम्हें छुट्टी पे जाएगा तब कर लेंगे, 3 दिन तक आपकी प्रोडक्टिविटी गई बाढ़ में, राइट? That's what happens in our organizations. The productivity, the lack of results is all people issues, and people have so much on their mind which they cannot get on their tongues because they don't even know that it's something to get on the tongue, because they just think यार ये तो ठीक है, सबके साथ होता है, बुढ़ापा है, things like that. Stress. Know your stress. Unless you know it, it will lead to stuff like depression. And then body, mind and emotions. इमोशनल इश्यूज क्या होते हैं? लोनलीनेस हो, हम कहते थे वो टीम प्लेयर नहीं है जी, she may be a team player in another organization's team. She is a great team player when she's with her friends. Why isn't she a team player in your office? Because your office is stressing her in some way or the other, or him. So the leadership has the responsibility of understanding that these are signs of stress that I am finding, and that is costing me productivity. That is like a termite जो खोखला कर रहा है मेरी organization को. I've got to do pest control now, and we've got to do an organizational diagnostic. So if you've taken this form, then you can even put in the comments if you want an organizational diagnostic. You could route that through MSMEx also and do that for you. And then, when somebody is really down on their sense of purpose and on the clarity of why they do what they do, they could get into stuff like fraud. This is killer. I mean, co-founder मर गया is a bad thing, but अगर co-founder नहीं मरा, आपका CFO ही या कोई accountant ही कहीं से आपके पैसे निकाल रहा है, कुछ हवाला में डाल रहा है, तो that is going to cost you your entire company and reputation and everything that you would do thereafter. And why would they do that? बस कुछ और करना था, खालीपन फेस हो रहा था. And I'm not joking. You've seen stuff like this happening in very large companies like Cafe Coffee Day, like Lehman Brothers. It's all stress, to divert which people look at how do I abuse something. It's not necessarily abuse of drugs and cigarettes or alcohol. It's abuse of systems. Kyun? Because I can. I have the power. Let me do it. Try करते हैं, देखते हैं कैसे चलता है. It's exactly like that. That's what happens. So there is a solution to this, and it's called the AA state. We have the BP state, the MF state, the SE state, the 6 dimensions of living. This is a state of absolute alignment. And I have one person to thank for this state, and that is Albert Einstein. Why? Any guesses why? No, I think that will be too difficult to guess. I'll tell you. You see, this gentleman, he is intelligent. So he said some very smart things. Yeah. He said, you can never solve a problem, any problem, using the same level of thinking that created the problem. I will repeat that. You can never solve any problem with the same level of thinking that created the problem. So if a problem is created by the body, sometimes you can solve it by the mind. That is what physiotherapy, psychotherapy is about. That is what yoga, meditation, things like that are about. Affirmations, right? NLP. The mind can clear the body's problems, and you can actually get physically better. But when the mind and emotions itself is in a problem, there is no solution. So the next level is the spirit. And the spirit is energy. Energy pe, we don't have any methodology of healing. The best that we know in science is what this man himself has said. Energy is equal to mass, matter. E is equal to mc square. C square is the speed of light squared. So Mr. Einstein has said that you can solve a problem at a higher level But when you have mental and emotional issues, the only solution is at a spirit level, at an energy level. And getting into that energetic connect, that is where the AA state is. That's where you've got the demands, and these are casting a shadow on you, but you say, no, I will not take the shadow. The shadow will be on the other side. I have power within me. This development of inner power, understanding how we are powerful enough to handle any stressful situation, it comes from being stronger inside. And developing that inner power is what certain workshops that we do are about. But I'm going to give you a very simple formula for working your inner power. Okay? And it's the formula, I call it, because it's 5 things: sleep, meditate, ingest, laugh, and exercise, which is short for smile. Easy way to remember, right? Because when you do these 5 things, and I'll explain each one of them to you, what you do is you start developing the strength within. And then if you in fact go over to Energy on Demand, it's the same link, because once you fill out that form, you could ask for a diagnostic, not ask for a diagnostic, that's up to you. But you will also be receiving mails with 10 mails with how to build up your energy. Because when you build up energy, and this is what I've learned from the lamas who never get stressed about anything, right? Dalai Lama kuch bhi kar lo, kuch bhi nahi hota usko, right? Mother Teresa ko kar lo, Sri Sri ko kar lo, any of these people, right? Because you would have noticed yourself, when you have high energy, nothing can stress you. And when something is stressing you, your energy is down. You say it, yeah, I am in low spirits. Spirits are down. Your inner power is down because your stress is high. So these are anti-polar. स्ट्रेस ऊपर, एनर्जी नीचे, एनर्जी ऊपर, स्ट्रेस नीचे. तो अगर आप कुछ ऐसी आदतें बनाओ जो आपको उस मेल से आएगा, you will be able to be energetic whether it's 10 in the morning or 10 in the night. Why? Because you're energizing yourself from where? Inside. That's where you're energizing yourself from. Now, how does sleep contribute to your energy? Yeah. Okay, the SE slide. Okay, I can go back to that. I'll go back as soon as we finish. Thank you. How does sleep play a role? You see, optimal sleep is 6 to 8 hours a day. 6 से कम नहीं, 8 से ज़्यादा नहीं. अगर 6 से कम हो रहा है, be perfectly fine in taking cat naps. 20 मिनट यहाँ सो लिए, आधा घंटा वहाँ सो लिए. 20 मिनट से ज़्यादा नहीं है, 15 मिनट, 20 मिनट, मैक्स आधा घंटा, राइट? 3-4 बार सो लो, अपना 6 तक मिनिमम पहुंच जाना चाहिए. इससे क्या होता है? इससे होता है कि हमारे जो, again I'll go back to the energy world, right? The connection of body, mind, spirit, the keeping of this in alignment, that's what keeps your energy intact, that's what keeps you stress free for life. संक्षिप्त में यही है. The energy comes into us when we are sleeping. जो आपने yin and yang के बारे में सुना होगा. So the yang energy is the energy, the male energy outside of us, which makes us do things. So when we are working, we're doing things, we're using the energy around. When we're sleeping, the yin energy comes and we power ourselves inside. अब आप में कुछ लोगों ने चक्रों के बारे में सुना हो, राइट? चक्र रहते हैं यहाँ से लेकर यहाँ, राइट? सेंटर में. It's very interesting. What else is on the center? जहाँ पे आपकी थर्ड आई है, वहां पे पीनियल ग्लैंड है, पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड है. जहाँ पे आपका थ्रोट चक्र है, वहां पे आपका थाइमस है, फिर थायराइड है, फिर पैनक्रियास है, फिर एड्रेनल्स हैं, फिर गोनाड्स हैं. What are these? These are your endocrine glands. This is everything that gets affected with stress. all the hormones, all the enzymes are released by stuff that is lying on your central channel. Scientifically proven. So when you bring energy into your central channel, you're powering, repowering, renewing, refreshing your metabolism, your digestive ability of enzymes, and your reactive ability of hormones. And that is the power of sleep. I can go on talking about the subject, but I think I have impressed upon you the point. Sleep. Meditate. What is meditation? Meditation is something I don't want you to spend more than 5 minutes on. I'll repeat that. Meditation, do not spend more than 5 minutes on it in a whole day. कहते हो भाई मैं तो ऑलरेडी 15 मिनट मेडिटेट कर रहा हूँ तो मैं आपके 10 मिनट बचा देता हूँ जी. क्योंकि I'll tell you what's happening. Unless you are a proper advanced level meditator who's going into the Shamta stream and stuff like that, most of the time you're sitting on a cushion and you're feeling damn good about it, or you're sitting somewhere and thinking about this, thinking about that, planning this, putting that together. You're not meditating. You are using me time to feel good and feel calm, peaceful, relaxed. You can feel good and feel calm, peaceful, relaxed in 30 seconds. Because all those thoughts that keep coming will not come in 30 seconds. Right? Exactly. Thank you, Ria. Because you are over meditating in one sitting. Sit for 30 seconds and meditate. That's all. How do you do that? We'll do it together. Okay, we have time. So I'd like you all to just relax. Put your spine erect. Yeah. Away from the back of the chair. And put your feet flat on the ground. So your soles are touching the ground, flat, grounded. Yeah. And then you breathe in. And when you breathe in, you fill your lungs fully. How do you know you're filling your lungs fully? Because you will fill them fully, they will press your diaphragm down. Right? This is the diaphragm. It gets pressed down. When it gets pressed down, there is no rib cage. So the stomach comes out. So when your belly comes out, when you breathe in, your belly comes out. That means you are breathing fully. Now try, let's do it and see once. Huh? Breathe in. So I breathe in fully to 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 karke. And feel your belly. Is it out? And then breathe out. From your nose or through your mouth or both. And push your belly in. You know, like Ramdev, ekdam wo belly ko apne spinal cord se touch kar dete hain. You don't have to touch it. But when you do that, you expel all the air. Because the diaphragm goes up and pushes everything out. That is oxygenating your lungs. Otherwise, you're not oxygenating your lungs. You're just fooling yourself. Fooling yourself means you're inviting stress. So, for 3 breaths, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, 10 seconds, 3 times, 30 seconds. You will not have any extra thoughts, but you are doing this consciously. This is eustress. You're doing it voluntarily, and you're stressing your lungs to expand fully and oxygenate fully. So let's do it. Right? Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in. 3, 4, 5. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And out. 3, 4, 5. Can't have too many thoughts when you are directing your mind to do something. The mind is driving your energy. The mind is like a monkey, but it's driving a horse. The energy is powerful. How many of you are feeling a little calmer, a little fresher, a little more relaxed just with these 3 breaths? Anybody? Just type yes if you are. Me. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Why sit for 15 minutes? But here's the second point. When you are sitting for 30 seconds and you're doing that every hour, 10 times a day in your waking day, you're doing a pattern disrupt. You got an overthinking mind. Somebody just wrote something about it. What is that? How to concentrate and be focused. You've got this lack of concentration because the mind is going into overdrive. Every hour you set your phone alarm, and every hour you drop everything, sit for 30 seconds. And because you're disrupting the pattern, you're giving an interrupt into your thought cycles, you will find you create a habit where you stop that overthinking mind, you stop that monkey from going from branch to branch and get it focused on where you want it to be. But it'll only happen when you do it every hour, 10 times a day. Do it and see. Do it for 3 days, you'll develop the habit and everything will change. Besides, you will get better oxygenation in your lungs. So when I said 5 minutes a day, it's just 10 times 30 seconds, 300 seconds equal to 5 minutes. That's meditation. That is serving that purpose. Ingesting. Don't just eat anything. First of all, eat only what is well cooked, okay, but which is not processed. तो चिप्स का बैग खोल के खा लिया and stuff like that, ना, all that is processed food. Processed food क्या होता है? बहुत दूर चला जाता है ओरिजिनल फूड से. हम हजारों साल से हमारी क्या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन रही है जब से हम वो केवमैन से फाइट कर रहे हैं, राइट, हाथी से, टू ईट नेचुरल स्टफ, जो मिला खा लिया. अब जितना हम अपनी बॉडी तो बदली नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं कि हमारे 6 हाथ हो गए सडनली और 4 आंखें हो गई, वही है जो था 10,000 साल पहले. तो क्या बदला है? कुछ नहीं बदला है. मगर अगर हम अपना इंजेक्शन बदल देंगे तो हमारा स्ट्रेस बढ़ जाएगा, हमारी जो कैपेसिटी है इसको डील करने की, हर एक चीज को, वो कम हो जाएगी. सो not only should be eating the right stuff, but you should be ingesting it properly. गांधी ने एक बहुत अच्छी बात बोली थी इस संदर्भ में. 4 वर्ड्स हैं: ड्रिंक, फूड, च्यू, वाटर. ड्रिंक, फूड, च्यू, वाटर. आप खाना ऐसा खाएं, इतना पचा पचा के खाएं कि वो बिल्कुल पानी की तरह अंदर चला जाए. और पानी एक बाजू में रखें हमेशा, या कुछ लिक्विड जिसको आप हर 10-15 मिनट एक घूंट पी जाए. च्यू इट. ये नहीं कि गड़गड़ गड़गड़ करके पी गए. नॉट इवन बियर, नथिंग शुड बी हैड लाइक दैट. जस्ट च्यू इट. जब आपका पेट ठीक रहेगा ना, तो आप क्रैंकी, चिड़चिड़े नहीं होगे. चिड़चिड़े नहीं होगे तो स्ट्रेस नहीं होगे, और लोगों को स्ट्रेस नहीं दोगे. People will be happy to be around you, right? And laugh. When you laugh, you lighten yourself, you lighten the environment, you actually lighten your joints. और ये joints में हमारी टेंशन होती है, jaws में, neck में, shoulders में, knees में, elbows में, हर एक joint में टेंशन स्टोर हो जाती है. तो जितना आप इसको हिलाओगे ना और हंसोगे, उतना you will physically release it and mentally release it. And finally, exercise does not mean कि आप gym join कर. No. Exercise means that you move. Again, जो हम disrupt, pattern interrupt कर रहे हैं ना अपने breathing से, वही हम physically करें. कि हर घंटे जब वो अलार्म बजा, you do your 3 breaths and then you get up, stretch a little, bend a little, kick a little, twist a little, and maybe walk a little, go to the fridge or go to the cooler, refill your water, come back. In that 1 hour, you should finish 1 cup of water. That way you will have 10-15 cups in the day. Hydration भी अच्छा रहेगा, ingestion अच्छा रहेगा, पचता रहेगा सब कुछ. So those are the habits that build you at a body, mind, spirit level within. And then you want another 10 habits, you know what to do. Fill in your details there, you get them by mail. Ask for a self-diagnostic or an organizational diagnostic. We'll be happy to provide that to you. Come for some of the future workshops. We'll be happy to get you onto those.